Welcome to Never Shut Up. It's your boy, Marcellus Wiley. No, I don't have a hangover, but the Kansas City Chiefs, and it seems like not just those who attended the parade, not just the players, but the entire sports world is reacting to this hangover by the Chiefs. We'll get into that. But first, you know me, I always start off with what I'm going through. And damn it, yesterday I had a great day. You ever just hang around some people that just bring you energy, that charge up your entire life just by their pure existence? I got a few people like that, but a couple came by the name of Justin and Missy Blaine. Those are my people. Not just friends of the family and their 4 kids. Yeah, for real. Like, you should see them. They travel they travel 2 ways. One, they got an Escalade, like there are no seats left. Even in the back row where you're supposed to put your golf clubs, they got little babies just rolling around in there too. And then these some conservative spenders, right? They're in the financial game and real estate game. They went and splurged on a Sprinter, my bucket list item, a Mercedes Sprinter, tricked out too, like captain's chairs, Mercedes leather, bathroom, and a bar. I was tripping out on that. And I'm looking at my wife like, you know how long I've been begging for a damn Sprinter? Then Justin and Missy come over here to my ours is in service. But long story short, they brought their kids over. My kids were over. We played games in the backyard. We were playing basketball. You know I suck. We were playing pickleball. And it was amazing to just have him and his son versus me and my son. And our sons are both juniors. Amazing time. Gave me energy. But let's get into this story right now, because it's time to be like everyone in Kansas City who is drunk because they are upset. Have you guys been reading these articles? The Chiefs were too drunk at their championship parade. So now it's calling into question, what is championship parade etiquette for the champions? Let's talk about it. The Kansas City Star published a series of letters to the editor Sunday. Here's some of the things that were criticized by the Chiefs players. They did the arrowhead chop, which I guess I shouldn't be doing right now, but they did the arrowhead chop, which is insensitive, right? We saw that. The Chiefs went out there and just had them a parade and a party. But here's some of the quotes that came from the fans who were in attendance. If the Chiefs cannot go a few hours without alcohol, the organization has a problem. Ooh, I know Ruth wrote that one and sent that in a stamp mail. Okay, here's another one. I, for one, was sickened to see this for the second time. Look at that little humble brag in there. Second time. Some Chiefs even bragged through social media about how drunk they were afterward. I am ashamed that players I cheer for could barely walk after they got off the bus. No doubt this spectacle made the news in other cities. Whoa! That's what we doing right now. And then there was video of Patrick Mahomes handing over the Lombardi trophy and then walking away. But luckily it was a replica. But the point is, maybe he was hammered. And shouldn't he be hammered? It's crazy. Now I get it, where this is coming from. Fans are complaining because you're role models, right? The youth are watching. There are fans in attendance, the kids in attendance that are watching this. And they're demanding a better parade etiquette. And we all remember the Rams Super Bowl and their championship parade. And remember when the girl jumped on the stage or fell off the stage? And we saw Matt Stafford like, oh my God, want to get away. Remember that moment? And then obviously he didn't have to, but he did take care of her medical expenses. I've never won a Super Bowl. I don't know how I would act, but trust me, I will act worse than every one of these complaints that they're talking about with Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. I would lose my damn mind if I won a Super Bowl and then I get to come back into my home crowd watching me, 500,000 people, not 80,000 at Arrowhead, but 500,000 people in the streets. What else are you supposed to do? It's almost like we're asking them not to be themselves instead of you showing some restraint and saying, how am I going to go? Who am I going to go with? And what will I accept? Because I know what I'm going to see. If you're going to an R-rated movie, you're going to curse at the screen when they curse at you in your seat. Like, that's how silly this sounds. Like, my wife and I get into these discussions sometimes because she's always closer to the edge in terms of patience than I am with the kids. And then every now and then the kids, I mean, it's like, mama, 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 rapid fire, blah, blah. And then she finally just says, you guys stop yelling. And I'm like, baby, you can never yell to someone to stop yelling, right? And it's funny, this criticism feels like this. It's silly, like you're telling people not to party at a party. Not, what do you do at a party? I know what I do at a party. Ain't no damn way I'm leaving my crib unless I'm going for some drink, to go hang out, and to go look at somebody of the other gender, right? Like, just look, I'm married. I got to stay over here, stay distance, 6 feet. I got to keep my 6 feet. But the point is, that's a party. And if you're not going there to see people have the effects of being at a party, maybe you should watch the censored version at home on pay-per-view or something. But to go to a party and then be the Debbie Downer, the Donald Downer, and then write letters to the editor. What is this, 1967? Like, who writes a letter to the editor like it matters? You better tweet that out and then hope, and that's it. Like, this is so get off my lawn. And they're not even on your lawn. You're actually on their lawn. They're going to have the parade without you. They won the championship without you. And I know fans are important, and we love your support. And we thank you for all your cheers and everything you do. But damn it, know that there are limits to this, right? You can't control my behavior at a party because I'm over there celebrating all of that work and all of that accomplishment. So I know who I side with on this one. The champions. Like, the rest of the crowd was just there in noise. Those guys were there in action. Why not let them pop their collars and let their hair down and see them in their realness, see them in their existence as being authentic? They're not going to get drunk like that all the time, obviously, because if they did, I kind of doubt they would have won the Super Bowl, you know? They know how to act when they need to act that way. Give the guys some respect, and you guys be a little more intelligent in your decisions and responsible if you go out to the parade. Well, coming up, let's talk about somebody who didn't go out. Shaquille O'Neal is not feeling Utah at all. Made headlines talking about the All-Star weekend and how, let's just say he ordered more room service than normal. Let's talk about that next on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reese TV. My challenge. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. Boy, Marcellus Wiley here. And let's go to Utah. No, damn, did I lose all my viewers? Hello, anybody want to go to Utah with me? Well, I know you don't. Me either. And it sounds like Shaquille O'Neal won't be going back anytime soon because Shaq was quoted as saying, I've never ate so much room service in my life. And I think that's the nicest way you can say, man, I ain't leave my room and I wasn't trying to leave this hotel. And that's a better way of saying it than like how Charles Barkley always clowns San Antonio, about all them big women down there, right? You know, you can't tell between the calf and the ankle just what's going on down there, Flintstone meat, all the jokes that can come from that, right? And it's funny because I sit in this locker room, so I really take you into that mental space where we agree, we disagree, we laugh, but we always got a healthy respect because we know we're all on the same team. But we go at it. And it's funny to hear Shaquille O'Neal, the big brand, talk about Utah like he should talk about Utah. Like, come on, y'all. I've been to Utah as well. I went when I was like 11 years old, track meet, Provo, Utah, at BYU. Smoked everybody out there. That's what I did. But it was fun times. And at 11, yeah, Utah is fun. We went to coffee shops and we had dinner and we played pool at the Holiday Inn. Like, I mean, duh. But, oh, I forgot. I'm not Shaquille O'Neal, you know, multi-millionaire sitting there in his 50s like, bruh, this is whack. Now, other than all the people who import themselves to Utah to make Utah look real cool for a weekend, it's slower. But I have never been a guy who beefed with a slow city. Y'all got to remember, I go from L.A. to New York City at Columbia to Buffalo and had a ball in Buffalo. Look, what do you need when you're in the city? We all know that we all judge cities first and foremost pretty much by the weather. It's like somehow in your top three is always weather. I get that. Buffalo certainly got bad weather. But what else do they have? I'll tell you what they have that every city needs to have for me to have a good time. You need a good restaurant, like my go-to, because I'm a creature of habit. Once I find my restaurant, I ain't going anywhere else anyway. I go to New York, I go to LA, everybody's like, oh my God, have you tried Cheap Moment? I'm like, nah, fool, I'm at Roof Chris again. That's what I'm gonna do. Get them sweet potato casserole. Let's go to war. So why do I need 1,000 restaurants when all I need is one? Now, does it have a mall? Now, I know now with Amazon, don't even need a mall, but a mall to me is more than shopping. It's to look, and it's to hang. It's just to see people that I don't know. Get out the house, get out the neighborhood, go see what the city looks like. I need a restaurant, I need a mall, and when I was single, all I needed was one mic, like Nas said, and y'all know what that microphone is. Just one person to talk to. Hello, how are you? And that's it. It's the city. What the hell y'all else doing? Like it's only 24 hours in a day and you sleep 8 of them. Shut up. It's good enough. But it made me think, what is the worst city that I've been to? Which city was the worst? Now y'all could go, oh, skunk, let's go, right? And y'all know all 32 of the NFL teams, and there's not 32 cities because LA got 2, New York 2, etc. Right? What's the worst? Pretty obvious, huh? Green Bay. Let me tell you why Green Bay was the worst. Not just in stereotype, but it really happened. I remember when we got off the bus. And we got off the bus and we look across the street as we were going into our hotel. And there's this a tavern, saloon, like something like, I don't know what Dukes of Hazzard show I was watching and seeing this, but it just seemed dated. It just seemed like, you know, the doors open like this and somebody comes out like, what's up there, right? So I'm looking like, that's weird. I was like, they don't even have like a normal ass restaurant. This look like a real saloon, right? So I'm like, all right, whatever. I ain't gonna be that stereotypical and judge them. And then I see the sign and I'm looking at the sign like, no, it doesn't. And it says, we will play that rap for you tonight. And I'm like, what? That's not how you say it. And I'm not going to go there for that rap that night because I don't want that problem that's going to come from that rap tonight because it sounds like it's a rare occasion. It sounds like it's a rare instance that they play that rap. So, you know, I'm out there on the field, obviously playing in Green Bay, 20 below, coldest game I ever played in. Had a fumble recovery. I forget the quarterback because it was the last game of the year. I don't think it was Brett Favre out there. But get a fumble recovery, run. Lost the ball. Why? Coach was like, well, how the hell you lose the ball? You were running in for a touchdown by yourself. And I was like, because I couldn't feel my hands, coach. Shut up. You go out there and try, damn it. But it also has to be flipped. The worst city, and I'm not picking on you, Green Bay, but it just was my experience. Let's talk about the best city. And we know what the best city is. Los Angeles, my home, my birthplace. LA is the best city. And I give it to people all the time who want to challenge that and tell me, oh, no, it's not, it's blah, blah, and blah. I'm like this. If you have one night to live, the best city is New York City. Why? The energy. You know why. If you have one weekend to live, it's Miami. Why? Not only the energy, but what you're seeing. And there are so many different people from countries all around in the islands. It's just a mecca and a melting pot. But if you have one life to live, that's obviously LA. For the weather, you can surf, you can go out there and ski in the same day. It only takes you a couple hours to go to both. You can rev it up like New York, and you can slow it down like Green Bay if you really wanted to in LA. So you got one night to live, take your butt to New York. You got a weekend, Miami. If you got a life, you better be in La La. And that's why we got 2 teams. So I learned from all of those experiences. I feel you, Shaq. Sometimes I would go places and I would say, man, I hope they got some good wings in this room service because I am not going out there risking it, rolling the dice to try and see something when you know how it is. In Utah, I'm glad you got the NBA All-Stars, but you got a lot of the NBA All-Stars in their hotel rooms instead of in the streets and at y'all malls. Well, coming up on Never Shut Up, Oh, yes, it's time to talk money. And Marshawn Lynch, who finally tells everyone how much money was he really fined when he was just there so he didn't get fined. That's next on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reach TV. Where's my chalice? Welcome back to Never Shut Up. It's your boy Marcellus Wiley, about to talk about somebody who consciously just shut up one day. He just was like, I'm not talking anymore. I'm not giving you who I am anymore. And that's, of course, Marshawn Lynch, who famously quoted, "I'm here so I don't get fined" at the Super Bowl. And he still got fined. And he's finally revealed how much he got fined. Now, I'm hoping this wasn't just for the Super Bowl, but this was like his career fine number. But whatever it is, it's too damn high. Marshawn Lynch said he was fined $1.2, y'all know what's coming, $1 million, right? From the NFL because he wouldn't talk to the media. I'm only here so I don't get fined. And it's crazy because he still got fined. And I don't know if a lot of people remember Marshawn Lynch from day one and when he was with the Buffalo Bills and how he had a different personality, or at least persona, than he did with the Seattle Seahawks and obviously now in retirement. That brand has shifted. And if you remember Marshawn Lynch, obviously from the Cal Golden Bears, riding the cart on the field, all that craziness, you knew he was going to be a personality, right? He had character, and he was a character. So I remember a couple of things that happened that made me witness from afar, oh, Marshawn Lynch, he's transitioning into something else. Now, we all knew he was a baller, a great player, like so explosive but thick. Like, dude was like bigger than normal, but could move it. Like almost a super fast D lineman, like a D tackle. Like, you're like, damn, this dude is explosive, but big. Like, don't understate the big part. This dude is thick, like Jerome Bettis, but can move. So I remember him balling in Buffalo, and then he got in trouble. It was like gun charges or around guns or something in the trunk, something of that nature, where they start talking about Marshawn Lynch in not a favorable light, obviously, because of that incident, and really attacking Marshawn Lynch, it looked like. And I was like, all right, he messed up. He did something wrong. And you saw him shut down. And then obviously had to leave Buffalo, become the Seahawk. And you just saw it was like all of a sudden a dead period. Even though he was on the field and ball, it was a dead period in terms of his relationship with the media and their understanding. He just was like, nah, I'm good. Like, got real close-vested, right? And then it became something. It's weird how saying nothing, became something. And I think that's when he had that inner chuckle. Because one, you already got disdain for the media. If you ever been in a firestorm or under scrutiny, we've all been there, whether it's at work, you did something wrong and the boss called you out. The last thing you want is someone else chiming in. The last thing you want is it snowballing. Well, imagine if you're a famous athlete or a celebrity like Marshawn Lynch and you do something wrong. Oh, it does snowball without your control. So he obviously went inside himself, became introspective, distance from the media, but then that nothing and that distance became something, and people wanted to get closer to Marshawn. And next thing you know, he had a brand for saying nothing. I'm going to say it again. He had a brand for saying nothing. You and I go to the podium and say nothing. Ask yourself how many more times they're going to invite us, right? Like, they just kept going there, and he said nothing. Kind of like Tim Duncan, but tongue-in-cheek. Like, Tim Duncan wasn't saying much of anything, but you're like, no, that's who Tim Duncan seems like, even though I know real life he ain't. But Marshawn just played with the media to the tune of becoming a national brand. It's amazing. And got paid off of not saying anything. So, yeah, he lost $1.2 million in fines to the NFL, which goes to NFL charities. But how much money has he made off of the brand of I'm only here so I don't get fined, or less, saying nothing at all? Amazing how that happened, man. Because I know some guys who are eloquent. I know some guys who bring the teacher's apple to the media in hopes of us being a media darling and getting those opportunities. And yes, I'll speak for the media. I had some of that in me when I was playing. And that didn't turn into a brand. All those good conversations and dialogues, and oh, of course I'll take you into the game inside the locker room. But Marshawn Lynch said, nah, I ain't taking y'all nowhere, fool. And y'all still went on the ride. That is unreal to me. I got to applaud that dude for what he did in branding. But I also want to tell you about fines, because I think I've only been fined one time. I was fined one time in the NFL. And here's the play. I am coming around the left end. Bruce Smith is on the right end. First of all, let's just pause life. Bruce Smith is on the right end. I'm on the left end. Like, who else can say that? That's like saying, you know, Michael Jordan was over there. He passed me the rock. I'm like, yeah, that's life. So I'm coming around, and it's Peyton Manning. Let's pause again. There's Bruce Smith coming around the corner. Peyton Manning standing there like this, and here comes Marcellus. That's me, y'all. Remember? The third fiddle in this conversation. And I am like coming around the corner, and I'm like, you just know when you're about to get a sack. I'm about to tear this dude up, and I'm going into Peyton Manning, about to launch into his chest. Because Peyton Manning's taller than me. He's like 6'6", so even me standing up, it's still chest wide. He got that neck, and then he got the head, and then another foot, and then it's like Peyton Manning, right? So I'm like, all right, so I'm about to go get his butt. And you close your eyes sometimes when you make tackles. Not all the time, but sometimes. And this one, I guess I just wanted to taste how great it was to be in the moment of making this big play. I just closed my eyes to, and in that moment, Bruce Smith had come, but went low on Peyton Manning because he was getting blocked and stumbling a little bit. Gets Peyton Manning down. So all of a sudden, 6'6" Peyton Manning is like 6'2" Peyton Manning. My chest shot is now a head shot. Uh-oh. And I hit Peyton Manning so hard in the head and neck that literally his body was here and his head and neck was over there. Like, seriously, there are pictures of it. Crazy. Then we know you fast forward, he had 4 neck surgeries. Sorry, Peyton. Sorry, Sheriff. Sorry, the great. But I had something to do with some of that. But then I get to the locker room, after the game. I don't know if we won or lost. They probably beat us. The Colts were insane after their rookie year with Peyton Manning. Nothing happened. I'm just thinking like, all right, whatever. Wednesday comes, and you get that FedEx. And everyone knows in the NFL, a Wednesday FedEx is not going to make you smile. That means that's the commissioner sending it, and I want my money. The letter is in there. You read it. Good luck trying to go and say, all right, I'm going to appeal this fine. That never works. But you read it, and you're like, $10,000. Get your next check. It's not even listed there. They just take it out. It's gone. It's not like they're going to trust us to say, here's all your money. Can you remit $10K on Friday? Ain't nobody going to pay the NFL, right? So that's how the game goes. So I've been there, Marshawn, but they've only taken $10K from me, but I didn't make it up like you did as a brand ambassador millions and millions of dollars later. Well, coming up on Never Shut Up, it's time to go deep. Full episode time. It's time to talk about the Vogue cover that had everyone talking. Ruffle some feathers. Did Rihanna in that picture emasculate ASAP Rocky? What are y'all talking about out here? That's next on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV, and we'll see you tomorrow, Brinks TV. Welcome back to Never Shut Up, your boy Marcellus Wiley, about to talk about this Vogue cover. Ooh, and this opinion may not be in Vogue, but this is how I feel when I saw the reaction to the Rihanna cover with ASAP Rocky and their kid. And if you guys don't know it, haven't seen it, we'll put it up there, right? But it's Rihanna in front of ASAP Rocky with her hand behind her, like she's on the relay team saying, stick. I used to always say, stick. And the baby's in A$AP Rocky's arm, and he's reaching out for her hand. I was just thinking like, okay, first thing I thought was the bigger stars in front, and it's cool that actually Pops is holding the baby, because we get into all these stereotypes at times, and we always think baby mama. That's mama's task. Daddy, you're out the house making the money so mama could be comfortable and secure for holding that baby, right? And I was looking at that cover like, oh, interesting, cool, because I know my role in the home, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But when I heard the reaction and a lot of the backlash, start reading through the comments, I'm like, wait a minute. Is this the male ego on full display? And is this insecurity to the fullest by that reaction? I'm here to tell people right now that gender roles, rigid gender roles, don't release you to be your fullest version. They actually restrict you. They really do, because I came into relationships with preconceived notions of what the gender role is supposed to be, right? I provide, and then you, inside the house, you do everything else. I make sure we have the big house. I make sure we are where we want to be, and you do everything else inside. Kind of like a coloring book, right? You're the one that colors in all outside, inside the lines, and make sure it looks pretty, and make sure everything runs smoothly and looks great. Meanwhile, I'll make sure we have a coloring book. Make sure we have the outline, right? And then I learned the hard way. Boy, was I misled. In my home, I just take you through my day before I even have to talk about what I've learned and experienced, because frankly, I don't have rigid gender roles. I came into it saying, I'll take out the trash and I lift all the heavy items. You do the dishes, you mop the floors, and you take care of the babies. And then day one, you see your little baby, and you see the mother of your child who is sitting there depleted from that experience of labor. And immediately, as a real man, as a father, you're like, I have to assist. I got to fill in the gaps. I got to make sure that these voids are not existing, because I am sharing this with my woman. So in this situation, all of a sudden, I go through a learning process. First thing is, I'm like, all right, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself walking around here saying, I'm going to do A, B, and C, and then you do D, E, and F, because that's not how it works. It works like whatever needs to be done, let's get it done together somehow, some way. And there are certain days where you feel like, okay, I got this assigned responsibility and you have this assigned responsibility, but it's not based on gender. I wake up every morning, 5 in the morning, 5:30 at the latest. The kids are up. My wife gets up, but she gets up to work out. I get up to take care of the kids. Yes, I do. Like, got to make sure MJ, the oldest, right? 7 years old, make sure he's good. He's getting easier and easier by the day, but you still got to supervise and make sure he gets to his clothes, puts his lotion on, kind of just monitor him, but still there. Then my 4-year-old gets up. I got to get her right. And a lot of times in the middle of the night, we're still working on it. She's potty trained during the day when she's awake. At night, oh, that diaper getting soaked, soggy, a mess. So 2 in the morning, pretty much every other night, guess who's getting up to change that pull-up, because she is letting it loose. Me, that's who. But she's up now, get her dressed every single day. Then got to get their breakfast, those two. The third one, the little itty bitty, my girl Olivia, she still sleeps. She sleeps in. She is not playing. She needs her beauty sleep. And she's beautiful, so it makes sense. So she's sleeping in, right? And then my wife tends to her, takes care of her. But I've done 2. My wife has done 1. My wife's worked out, spin class. Hello, Real Housewives. And then she does it with Aaron, who's a tremendous spin instructor. And then she gets 1 kid. I got 2. Wait a minute. I'm the breadwinner, and I'm doing more for the kids in the morning than you. But then she takes them to school, right? And then I'm at home. I do a little tidying up. I don't clean up, I ain't gonna lie. We got a nanny, so the nanny handles that. And then I pick up the kids. Oh, wait a minute. If we keep a score, it looks like I'm still doing more, right? I'm washing dishes. I hate washing dishes, but I really, really hate mopping. So I'm like, I got to pick my poison. So I'm over here washing the dishes, right? And the point is, I'm doing what I need to do, what we need done. That's it. That's a relationship. And if y'all don't understand that, Look at that Vogue cover again from the lens of a relationship. Rihanna's in the front, not emasculating the man. It's like sometimes she has to take the lead as well. I used to pray when I was single, not only to have a relationship with a woman who had her own, but I ain't gonna lie, who had more than me. I was like, I would love to play the back to somebody who got it more than me. And whether you think A$AP Rocky is a superstar or not, whatever you think of him, he ain't Rihanna, right? He ain't performed at the Super Bowl halftime show by himself and then bring out no guests. Rihanna did. So the point of, maybe that cover was just simple as this: the bigger stars in the front. Maybe it was to show in this relationship, there's a greater balancing act, or she leads as much as him, if not more, because she is a breadwinner in any home she's in, and she just had a baby and pregnant with a second. Plus, why not defy stereotypes? Like, look at it from that. It's not emasculating a man as much as it's showing a real man is also going to be holding his baby. A real man's going to be there for his baby. A real man is going to say, hey, honey, where we going tonight? Instead of you coming with me. I love that. But I have to talk to the emasculating lane. I have to talk to that because I understand where people are coming from. We are seeing in general, and I don't think this one specifically, but in general, at times where they're looking at men to like be all these roles instead of the traditional male role. Now, I think, yes, you should expand the roles, but also respect the general traditional role, whatever that may be. But it's circumstantial, isn't it? It's not based on, oh, I'm a provider, and so therefore I dictate terms. I think, no, you should still be a provider, but also listen and have amendments to those terms of the home. Actually have a real relationship. My marriage is at its best when I'm actually serving my wife. And I don't know if the Bible says I'm supposed to. I don't know if people out there think I should, but I'm going to tell you what works best. Is when I know she needs something and I get it for her before she even asks. I know when it doesn't work is best. Is when I know she's sitting over there starving for something and I'm like, well, because of who I am or who you are or because of my dynamic or because I've done already A, B, and C, you're not going to get that. And then we struggle. So that relationship on that cover to me just showed a family in different display and different dynamic. And let's be real, they have different dynamics. So all I want people to understand is define it for yourself. Don't let other people define you. And it may look a lot of different ways, right? Is Stedman still with Oprah? And if he is, that's a different way of looking at the traditional relationship, correct? And a lot of you guys are actually out there in different relationships in terms of the balancing act. I know a lot of fathers that I hang out with in our fathers groups that talk about all the stuff that they do that growing up we thought was the job of the woman. But now, I see daddy at the daddy at pick up and drop off. Daddy at the daddy with babies in their arms and just like chasing after them. All the things we used to say that, oh no, that's the mama's job, the stay at home mom, or, you know, just sit there and be the housewife. No, no, no. Because we know the hardest job in the world, trust me, is not playing in the NFL. It's not even coal mining, and that's pretty damn tough. It's raising kids, and no one gets paid to do it, but damn it, you're supposed to do it, and it certainly pays off. So a little more love at the lens of looking at that Vogue cover. The way I saw it, it was a beautiful family in a different display. All right, you know how we end this show every single time. We end it with a Wileyism. Ready for this one? Learn to unlearn. Oh, right on point. Message, right as we were just talking about stereotypes and rigid gender roles that restrict you instead of release you to be your fullest version. You got to learn to unlearn, y'all. Like, seriously, you know how much bullshit we learned growing up? Like, my parents did their best. Good Lord. My mama, she did her best. Beautiful lady. Had 2 kids, ages 17 and 19, living in Compton. My dad did his best. He's from down south, Tyler, Texas, moved to San Diego. Just a simple man. Just happy to have freedom. I ain't gonna lie, my daddy is just pumped in life because he had to grow up through real discrimination, like picking cotton for $1. My dad used to just walk on the other side of the street, didn't look at white people in their eyes, like real stuff. So I'm from that cloth, and they did their best. But through exposure and through experiences, I got to learn more about this world than my family did in terms of being out there and expanding borders. So I had to learn to unlearn, because I learned a lot of crazy stuff, including ketchup on tacos, as you guys always clown me. But guess what? Where I'm from, we didn't have salsa and ketchup money. You had to pick one. And damn it, salsa don't go good on French fries, but ketchup does, and tacos. So we picked ketchup. But that's just one reason why, right? Well done steak. That's because you better burn it, because that meat ain't A grade. I don't know if it's B grade. It's D, F grade. It is what it is, man. You survive, then you thrive. That's the rule of life, right? So in this world, no matter what you hold on to, and we know we hold on to things, and you better be your own best friend, because you need to have a negotiation with yourself and say, let that stuff out, man. Let that shit go. Because you gotta go out there and learn to unlearn. Get it out. And there's some things that I struggle with. There's still some things I struggle with. I struggle with apologies in the moment. Oh, I'm good retroactively. Give me a little time. Let me cool off. Going back into the locker room. But on the field, oh no, I'm arguing every call. It's just that simple. But I got to learn to unlearn that. I saw that growing up. That pride, that ego. And you got to let that stuff go. So everybody out there, challenge yourself. Think about it. Close your eyes. Really have a relationship with yourself. And ask yourself to learn to unlearn. Well, thanks for watching today's episode of Never Shut Up. Y'all know I'll be back tomorrow with some more topics from all over the sports, entertainment, life, cultural landscape, as they say. I love talking about it all. I'm not a debater. I'm a discusser. See y'all tomorrow on Never Shut Up. Brinks TV, Reese TV, doggone, still love you. Peace. Now get your merch, damn it.